And we too were touched, and it was a knockout. On the 29th of March, 65,628 people went to the footy, and Friday night football arrived.
Glendenning down there on the forward line, snap for goal, it'll be all right, it's a goal. In pass over to Dixon for goal number 4, that's what he's done.
Collingwood beat North that night. Brian Taylor booted 7, Phil Cracker 3. Tonight, the original clubs are back and the stakes don't get any higher. The Kangas, inspired after yet another fighting win, are grappling for a place in the 8. The Magpies can almost touch the top 4.
Hi everyone, welcome along to Telstra Dome for Friday night football. Tonight it's North Melbourne against Collingwood. David Schwartz is with me, and Dave, looking back to last week, Collingwood had a bit of luck. Adelaide lost players. It's hard to get a beat on their form.
No, very hard, but also the same with North Melbourne. They were very lucky to get up against Port Adelaide. Treadray kicks correctly, they win the match. So, yeah, they're up and down both these sides. But looking at North Melbourne, they bring back Grant and Jones, 2 experienced players, yet one drops out in Nathan Thompson. That's it's probably a signal that he may be coming to an end. But the Kangaroos, they're a very young list, but they're very well coached and tough, hard, and that shin bonus spirit that everyone talks about always lives on, and never, ever underestimate this side.
Got to bottle that. One late change for the Magpies. Davis is out, Wellingham is in.
I think that's a big one too, because with Medhurst, Didak and Thomas, the 4 of those with Leon have been exceptional. It'll take a little bit out, but they've got enough to cover him. Wellingham's a very clever player in his own right. This is about as good as Collingwood can put on the park at the moment. Expect a very fierce game from them. They need to win this. They need to win games that are expected to win, and this is one of those up here against Kangaroos tonight.
And he is a miracle man. This one, 3 goals against North Melbourne back in round 5. 20 goals for the season. Alan Didak ready for Friday night football. We're set to go at the Dome. It's North Melbourne and Collingwood coming right up. Friday night at the Dome. An atmosphere about this one so vital for North Melbourne, and certainly Collingwood looking to push up as well. Toss of the coin, 2 veterans, 2 players who are class acts.
Heads, guys. It's a head. All right, good luck.
Adam Simpson wins the toss for North. It's their home game, but they're in the away strip, and certainly a big pay night for them. Let's go down to Ricky Olorenshaw on the boundary. That late change we mentioned earlier. Leon Davis is out. What news, Rick?
Well, I spoke to the Collingwood officials. That included Mick Malthouse, but they were very cagey about Leon Davis's injury. He has been carrying an ankle injury for about the last 6 weeks, so I suspect that's what's keeping him from the side tonight. Now, the Kangaroos, as you said, Dennis, it is their home game, and they are wearing their away strip. But about 30 minutes ago in their pre-game warm-up, they did wear the traditional North Melbourne jumper as a tribute to their 1975 and 1977 premiership side. It's no coincidence they did that in front of a big Collingwood crowd, and I reckon the Kangaroos are trying to pick a fight very early.
So there you go, number 9. That's another late change, I think. Michael Stipe in. Well, not exactly. John Anthony has had a haircut during the week. Rather severe as well.
Gee.
Has he got the red boots on?
He's got the red boots.
Well, they're in fashion this week as well. My goodness, he's on a roll.
Well, he must have seen him here. It is blessed turf at the moment.
Well, they only stand out because he's not wearing white boots.
There's Nathan Thompson, who, of course, has been omitted from the side. And that's a big statement by Dean Laidley and the Kangaroos, because he has been a wonderful full forward for them for a long time.
Umpires tonight, McBurney, James, a veteran of 3 grand finals, and Jeffrey.
You can see Ferrito going to Travis Cloak in the Collingwood forward line.
Petrie's gone to full forward, so he'll be picked up by Shane Wakeland.
Saw Collingwood last week, and Adelaide all over them early. But unfortunately, Adelaide lost players. Collingwood found form. Set to go then. Opening bounce on the Friday night here at the Dome. One down by Hale. Out of there by Burns. Just boots it down towards the half-forward line. Goldstein's in there. Goldstein, in fact, was the man who tapped it down. Advantages paid. North Melbourne come away with the football. Harvey, who's been in splendid form. He plays well against the Magpies. Close to the boundary line. That's a big call for the official. Who's in perfect position. Petrie paid the mark. Goes to McMahon in the pocket, tracking it. Back towards the line. Taken down. Swung down there. The hand pass comes across towards Harvey. Harvey tries to go over the top. Eventually Harris, the man who was slung initially, Pratt, gets the football back, lays it off. Wells now on the 50. Campbell, close quarters to Grant. Grant to Rawlings. The man in front, Hale, had it knocked away. It was well played by the defender, Brown. It runs towards the boundary. Thomas has got it, unloads, and that is a magnificent effort. Went very, very close and narrowly missed. He was hard against the line under extreme pressure and almost made something out of nothing.
Collingwood had the first touch, and then the Kangaroos had the next 15. So they've shown their intent tonight already. They've attacked the ball with vigour.
So Johnson's long kick, Thomas and Pratt and Reece Shaw. Back to Rawlings. Look away, handball, okay. Coming from Urquhart. And now Pratt measures the kick inside the 50.
Oh.
Free kick to Petrie.
The interesting part when the ball came in before was Tarkin Lockyer. He drifted all the way back and he brought his opponent down. And you'll see a lot of that from Collingwood, getting numbers back.
So Petrie's centering ball. O'Brien, well done. Brown, and now Anthony with that new look.
Drives it towards the outer side wing. Lockyer's got the run of it. Waters closing. Got him. Will run onto the hand pass. No, he's assisted by Harding. Hansen feeds it forward. Rawlings goes back. Harding's got it inside the defensive 50. North Melbourne players everywhere. Hansen feeds it forward. Gibson kicks through centre towards half forward. Now Collingwood have got the numbers. Petrie battled manfully. Reece Shaw across to O'Brien. Steps a would-be tackler. Thomas is away. Johnson's got it right on the wing. Johnson, terrible kick for Rito. Awkward one for him. Ricochets off Swan. Picked up by Medhurst at close quarters to Swan, who dropped it. Gibson picked up by Rawlings to Watt. A little bit of body English on the kick as he gets it across to Wells.
He takes his time. Kicks to Hale. And now Simpson, good tackle, but he's able to get an effective handball to Harvey. And Wood dropping back. So Collingwood starting with the two big guys. Bryan and Wood both out there tonight.
And Collingwood are dropping back behind the ball, but already the 2 or 3 times that they have gone towards their forward area, they haven't pushed up quick enough. And North Melbourne have dominated with numbers across that half-forward line for Collingwood. They need to make sure that they play offence as well as dropping back to help their defence.
So Wakeland to Johnson.
Johnson towards half-forward. Almost the big grab down there. Strong in front. Cloak. Now he'll be penalised.
I think he thought that the whistle may have blown then, that he deserved a free kick, but didn't. Bit slow.
For Rito. A bit early in the quarter for that then. Cross the ground. Watt. Ooh. Ooh. He spilled it, but it was paid a mark. Hansen. Right half back. Takes something off the kick. McMahon comes on the lead. Juggles the mark just forward of the wing.
He's worked hard early.
Harding breaking hard. Oh, that's not a good kick, though. Over the top. Reece Shaw almost the mark. That hand passes straight out of bounds.
Good decision.
That was a little bit weird.
Well, he can't believe it, but it was certainly there.
Tried to disguise his handball.
McMahon got away with that too, because that was a horrible kick out to space, but just put it on top of his head. Gee, they're loose.
And Pratt gets it from Wells.
They're just not working hard enough or smart enough at the moment, Collingwood. You'll see this here with Reece Shaw. He nearly takes a great mark.
Time's going.
You've got to be joking.
So not a big goal kicker, Pratt. Doesn't have a whole lot of shots for goal, but he's right on 50. And he's got the distance all right, but never really a chance.
I think Collingwood started their two big fellas on the field to find out what North were going to do with their defensive structure. Well, they're going to need to get it inside their 50 to find out exactly how that's going to pan out.
And North Melbourne already have had 17 kicks but 22 handballs. So linking up, want to get the ball on pretty quickly.
Certainly dominating possession. Heath sure to himself. Drives it out towards the boundary. Cloak about 5 metres in from the line. Hands to it again. Pendlebury, Burns, quick hands, Swan. Clever kick under pressure. Lockyer. Two men forward of the play. One is Anthony, the other is Brian. Not two of their front liners, but Brian comes around, touch ball. Well, they weren't front liners, and certainly Brian made a hash of that. And now it's going to be a free kick, and it will go Collingwood's way. Advantage is not paid.
John, too long, not reasonable time, too long.
Lucky to get out of that, the Magpies.
But that play started with a kick out, and North Melbourne had an 18-man zone, all within 60 metres of their goal. And the closest players to Collingwood goals, there were 5 Collingwood forwards that were all closer to the goal than the closest North Melbourne player. It was a risk, but Collingwood were able to get through that zone and over the top and give them this chance at goal.
He showed how to actually make a tackle, one around the waist and just tackled on the other arm. Gibson had no chance.
Terrific tackle. Anthony comes in and splits the middle. Lovely kick.
Spot on Ox, and this young fella has came into the club as a defender, so you'd expect him to be able to tackle, and on that occasion he was able to effect it without giving a free kick away in a position of the field that is very damaging for them. But he's done really well in the last couple of weeks as a forward, and he's been very effective when he's had his chances, and he's finished them off.
So John Anthony, he's been kicking goals, hasn't he? Hasn't played in a losing team for the Pies. So Petrie in the ruck. Well done, Clark, to Pendlebury, and around the body to half forward Gibson, who gave the free kick away a moment ago. And then Aubrey quickly on inside 50. Wood, big fly, couldn't quite get a run. Cloak, Lockyer, Collingwood with numbers again, forward of the footy here. Power goes down on hands and knees to Ferrito on the up to Urquhart, and Urquhart away now. They say he's a magnificent kick of the footy. He may not have to this time. Goes over the top. That's a dangerous handball. Wells had to search for it. Pratt milked the free kick and goal.
The shoulder. Thanks, Paddy. Give it to him on the full now. Thank you.
Pratt on the wing then. The man has just crept onto the ground. That's Jones. Hasn't spotted him. Jones is dancing down at right half forward. There goes the kick meantime. Wide of the mark and Thomas, and they'll work it out. Goldsack gets it across to Johnson. Johnson to Didac.
Well, he's just come on. He started on the bench.
Jones must have been 50 metres in the clear when all of that started. Thumped across the line by Watt. Not exactly the same circumstances, despite the protestations of the Collingwood fans, as we saw for Reece Shaw.
A couple of kicks on this wing have been absolutely terrible. The skills from Collingwood early have been poor.
Brian, Thomas over the top. Getting the staggers was Clark. Clark had it a long time. Trapped in there by Ross. Emerges with the footy. Well done, young man, to Power. Power gets it away to Urquhart. Urquhart alongside of Harding. Puts it into his path. Harding taken down low. He'll get the free kick.
Gee, Ross showed good toe then to get through the pack. Had a couple of players around him. He's only a young kid playing his third game.
So Harding. Harvey almost had a good ride. He'd be disappointed. He really should have taken him then. It was going to be a specky. Wellingham, who's come in for Leon Davis tonight, made his debut in the big game on Anzac Day. A bit up and under, and it was a poor kick. Ferrito able to take it comfortably. He's got Harding, and Harding can come wide to Urquhart. His two handballs haven't been all that great. Urquhart, lovely kick to McMahon.
Glenn Archer said in the paper today that he rated Urquhart one of the top 3 kicks that he's ever seen play for the North Melbourne Footy Club.
Here is Ross.
Ross with the man on the mark right on the 50. Sets it long down towards full forward. Bodywork done by Goldsack. Drifting in, taking the mark was Clark. Thomas out of the back pocket to Swan. 5 metres in from the boundary line. Flicks it over the top. Didak has it. Treads the line. Pulls it back. O'Brien marks. Where will he go? Swan is on. Thought about it. Burns, who gave them the number, was opting to come off at the time. So it suddenly became a one-on-one. Burns is interchanged. O'Brien close to the boundary line with the outside of the boot down towards the attacking 50. Gibson backed his judgment, peeled off, did well. Harvey, Wells, need a big game from him. Couple of bounces, runs into a dead end, terrible. Gave it up to Lockyer. O'Brien sweeping hand pass to Reece Shaw. Shaw goes looking for Wood, and Wood has taken the mark in his hands. Well done.
Well, the structure of the Kangaroos was non-existent up forward. Then Wells had nothing to go to. The players were only 20 metres from him. He should have probably just bombed it long, but no set-up structure inside 50 for North Melbourne on that occasion.
Wood has gone back a long way.
Gee, a good kick there by Reece Shaw too.
Collingwood lead it by 4 against possession, certainly, in the way the game's been played. This one is coming back, helped across the line by Petrie for a behind.
That was an absolute boomerang.
When the kicking gets consistent like this, I do wonder about the ball sometimes. I mean, you can get a flat one every now and then, and it can affect the skills.
Well, Malcolm Blight did a lap of honour today, didn't he? Tonight, we saw him earlier. That's a Blightism, isn't it? Here's McMahon. As distinct from a blight on the game, Bucks.
There has been some very good exhibition of kicking though from some players. So you're right, it's a bit of a cop out.
Well, have a look at this. He just doesn't drop it correct.
Very wooden.
That is absolutely horrible.
So Hale, Wakelin and Bryan getting over the top. Power gets it back to Hale. Clark has been really busy. O'Brien, well done. Back into a hot spot. Johnson had to kick it in a hurry and got a lot of height. Swan got worked underneath it by Harding. He's really gone through a reinvention this year, hasn't he? Harris got it to Simpson, who coughed it up with a poor kick. Harris gets a second crack. Well done, Collingwood. Maxwell, not so well done. Corey Jones, ball still in dispute. Now Simpson to Harvey. Couple of reliable players there as Harvey goes back inside.
Kicks across the ground, needs to be precise. Missed by Urquhart. Petrie knocks it out of there. Well played, gathered by Ross. He's missed wide to the right. North Melbourne, so much of the football, they trailed by 4 points.
North have dispensed with their 18-man zone. Just the traditional 12 players in that zone now.
O'Brien out of the back pocket then. Well-weighted kick. Didak. What a beautiful kick. Didak hard against the boundary line to half forward. Medhurst turned his man around. Coming up was Pratt. Pratt over the top to Simpson. Runs on Pratt. Short one. Ross has got it.
Been good, hasn't he?
Likely customer.
Right there, that's it, thank you.
Ross just forward of the wing. Campbell to space.
And then quickly on Campbell, and then kicks to centre half forward. Grant, gee, I think it's a free kick.
I think you'll find this is correct.
It's against Thomas, took the arm, clear.
It was poor play by Heath Shaw. He actually let Shannon Grant get across the ground then and forced Dale Thomas to come in from his position on McMahon to affect the spoil, and he chopped the arm to do so. That's an obvious free kick.
A couple of players off half-back getting a fair bit of it for North Melbourne. Pratt, he's already had it 7 times. Urquhart, he's had it 4. Just setting it up.
Good record against Collingwood. Hit the post, of course. This could be goal 350 for Grant in his career. He passes a little milestone.
It was a really good kick coming in. Ross is working the middle of the ground, and then they get it out wide. It's always dangerous when you go to the fat side, and they set it up really well, the Kangaroos. They spread out. They gave Grant time to get into that spot, and Thomas's only work was to actually take the arm, but They're setting it up off half-back at the moment, the Kangaroos, and Collingwood, whilst they're pushing back, they've got to get back and stop that run. Too many loose players.
Number 6 has kicked a few goals for North Melbourne over the years. Memories of John Dugdale. He got plenty for them as well. North Melbourne lead it by 2 points. Play restarts. Great bounce. Guess who? Umpire James put it down. Best bouncer amongst the umpires, no question. Simpson somehow got free. Harvey. Pratt going back with the run of it there was Petrie. Didn't know what was coming up. Missed it anyway. Well worked by Brian. O'Brien. Thomas. Reece Shaw. Now the run of Clark kicking it down towards half forward. Lovely kick. Pinpoints it to Lockyer. Breaking is Anthony. He honours the lead. Anthony fingertips to it. Couldn't hang on. Power with courage will get a free kick.
I don't think Pratt's right. He copped a knock before when he got a free kick. He went off the ground, and at the moment he looks a bit sluggish and a little bit slow when the ball's coming inside.
So Power kicking wide to Ferrito. Gee, set him a task. Boundary throw in.
I'd hate to see him when he's up and going. He's had 8 touches and he's probably the most effective player on the field at the moment.
Yep. Just on those last couple though, he got him really early, but he did cop a heavy knock before. He had to come off.
Burns. Good in the clearances, isn't he? Wellingham back to Shaw. He can kick a goal. Steadies now. And that's a poor result.
Wow.
He's having a terrific season, Reece Shaw, but that was not a good kick. So Collingwood trail up by a point against North Melbourne here at the Dome.
Collingwood fans ruining their misfortune.
Inside 50s 10-5 in favour of North Melbourne.
Bit of a contrast in Collingwood's kick-in defence here. They were basically man-to-man and slowing the North Melbourne progress once they'd got that kick-in from the goal square.
Hansen drives it up towards the wing, and Petrie in front will get a free kick.
Just on the bench for the prize too, Didak, Pendlebury and Medhurst. It's a fair bit of class. Medhurst only had the one handball. Started slow last week. He'll want to get a wriggle along when he gets back out there.
No doubting that free kick. Jones at close quarters. And Pratt was taken across the boundary line and just for a moment looked like a rabbit in the headlights there. Just stopped. So boundary throw in. Reaching over the top, Petrie. Reece Shaw, a half chance. Down goes Brown, attracts a crowd. We'll have a ball up on the other side.
Down to you, Ricky.
Just to back up what Ox said about Daniel Pratt, when he got a knock to the head before, he did come to the bench and the doctor checked him for a cut on the head. But he went through the hair, couldn't find a split, so I put him back on again. He
does look a bit wide-eyed at the moment, doesn't he?
He's not. I don't think he's.
You wonder how orientated he is right now. There's Clark's kick. Lockyer. And now Reece Shaw feeding off him really well. Squeezy little kick out, not good in the end. Ferrito just had to take the chance, was terrific to Harvey. And Harvey away with some support. Well done by Ferrito. Harvey teasing Collingwood, gets it inside 50. Grant, well done.
What North Melbourne have been able to do is capitalise on Collingwood's mistakes. Clangers 15-6. Collingwood have made 15 clangers in 18 minutes of footy. It's unusual.
Well, Reece Shaw is a beautiful kick. His last 2 kicks have been a bit costly, haven't they? That short one and then the shot for goal.
And this bloke's got a bit to prove to North Melbourne. He was suspended for a week internally, and as a senior player, it's not what they expect, and he's got a little bit of work to get the faith back of the footy club.
Well, this has been his trademark over the years, and that's not going to be a goal.
Probably makes up for the one that Reece Shaw missed only moments ago.
That's right. A bad result for North. They missed a few, but keep it in perspective. Just remember Kate Moss and Jamie Hintz broke up last week. Close to the boundary line. This is Shaw in trouble, taken down, holding the ball.
Too long. He's gave you reasonable time. Too long.
Umpire McBurney spelling it out. Hale's got the football. Left half forward, about 75 metres from goal. Not 15. Power. Back to Hale. Hansen, high ball down towards full forward. Wood should mark it. Missed it completely. Didn't touch it. Didak at the back. Short one finds Medhurst in the back pocket. Anthony breaking hard. That was a clever kick, actually. Was never concerned with Anthony, although gave the intention, I think, that he was. Burns has got the football, drives it beyond the wing. Oh, terrific.
He's back. Don't worry about that. He was dazed, but...
Well, maybe he was dazed, and that's why he went back so hard. But he's been a fantastic player all year, and he's been fantastic in his first quarter for North.
Maybe a little bit lucky to be out there tonight too.
Got to get back on the horse as he kicks down towards half forward. Goldstein drops the mark. Son of a gun, can't believe it. It's out of bounds.
Harvey's had 7. Lee Harding 6. Simpson 6 are the usual suspects.
Were you looking at Eddie and Andrew when you said that, Ox? Here's Johnson getting it from Didak. So Didak again playing deep tonight. Getting back Gibson. Here's O'Brien.
Oh, great kick.
Good lead.
Anthony's a lovely kick of the footy. Just pushes it out in front. He's made Lockyer work hard. Lockyer can kick a goal though. Round the body. Looks good. He's got it.
Well, they've made the most of their opportunities, Collingwood, going forward. Just the 6 times for 4 scores. So they've taken full toll in that regard. North 12 times inside 50 for 1-4. But the quick break working on that occasion, being able to switch over to the fat side of the ground and take advantage of the space.
Margin is 4 points. Let's go down to Ricky Renshaw. Rick?
Well, Renshaw just had a very short stint on the bench, and he got the phone call from the coach. I reckon his kicking would have been mentioned in that conversation.
He was terrific last week. One of the best games he's played for the Magpies.
Well, it helps
for Crows.
Helps when you have a good solid pre-season, and that's what he's had, and he's fit.
Wood to Pendlebury decisively. Ferrito left it behind. Cloak surrounded by North Melbourne players to Wellingham. Wellingham's kick is offline and behind. Well played by Cloak. Got that ball out against weight of opposition.
Well, that's Collingwood's 7th time inside 50 for 5 scoring shots. So when they get the ball forward, they're effective. It's just a matter of getting there a little more often than they have.
Now, is this a ploy? People have been talking about this recently, about supporters of opposing teams tossing the other football back.
To slow the ball down because there's a second ball on the ground.
That's right. Kick outside the 50.
Good hard run there by Grant.
Grant's got the football at right half back.
Anything to gain an advantage, Dennis, and if the cheer squads and that can get involved, well, they love that sort of stuff.
So Grant to Jones, a bit of synergy there, isn't it? The two that have come back in. Nice kick, lovely kick, and Harvey worked his man so well there, Clark.
Geez, he's strong, isn't he, Harvey?
Both Clark and Harvey have had a lot of it early. What's he going to do here? That mine working overtime. Neat little kick to Harris.
He can hoof it too, Harris.
He's got McMahon in the goal square. And see what's in front of him. He decides to go short to Hale. Second go didn't quite. High tackle, surely.
Thanks, Corey.
It was not a bad kick there by Harris to advantage of his big ruckman. Just unable to take the mark, but probably a good decision.
Yeah, he did take it good, yep.
It's one of the hardest rules to adjudicate that, though, when a player ducks down. Just have a look at all this. So all the players up North Melbourne's end of the ground, except for a couple in the middle.
And around the clearance as well. They're not spread.
Yeah. That's how footy's developed, isn't it?
Low scoring term, 15 players, 10. Didak knocks it Collingwood's way. Falling to the ground, Pendlebury, stolen by Wells. That's going to be a free kick to Pendlebury. So what's the free kick count? 9-1. Okay, Pendlebury goes out wide. Reece Shaw's away, has a bounce running down towards right half forward. He's gone a long way after that second bounce. Had a third eventually to Cloak right on the 50. A centering kick. Going back, Maxwell fell over. McMahon didn't. Good balance. Runs to right half back. Jones will be hard to beat here. Well played, Goldsack. Well done. Did him fair and square. Goldsack. Plenty of Collingwood players around the ball to Pendlebury.
Did very well, didn't he? And then Pendlebury's kick to Wellingham. He's been busy early. It's his 8th game, Willingham, this season and in his career, so he'd be thinking a big one tonight. Maybe I can be involved in September. Long kick to Thomas, who flew early. Anthony and Cloak. Did Cloak have all of it?
No, good decision. See Josh Gibson with the roll on Paul Medhurst. He's done very well at this stage. Medhurst with just the 2 touches.
Straight back.
So Collingwood probing here. Goldstein, Harris running out of room.
Gee, Goldstein looks like he knows what he's doing in the tap-outs. Got really good soft hands and seems to find his teammate easily.
Running down a quarter time. North need to hold here. Sliding in was Bryan. Over the football, Brown came out the back to Wells. Gibson has it now. They might score. Power running through midfield. Kicks down towards half forward. Well done by Clark. Kept his eye on the footy. Thomas leads him though in the race. They both backed off initially thinking it was going to be won by either Johnson or Ross. They overran the football and eventually it goes out of bounds. 15 plays 10. 29 seconds remaining in the term. Goldstein delicately. Clark goes after it. Was he pushed to the back? Well done, Clark, in any case, to Pendlebury. Clever hand pass to Bryan. Back to Pendlebury, down to 15 seconds. Towards half forward. Ferrito got a boot to it. Taken by Power. Coughed it up. Well done, Pendlebury. Gets through. Down to 7 seconds. Donak's got the football. Bacon goal square. Down to 3 seconds. Goal.
How good was Scott Pendlebury then? He had the 1-2 at the half-back flank area there at that stoppage. And then again through the half-forward line. Fantastic bit of play.
The tackle was good. Here he gets it for the first time. Fakes a couple.
He's got about 5 options at that stage too and picks the right one.
Quarter time at the Dome. Lovely finish by the Magpies. They lead by 11 points. It's Collingwood 3-3-21, North Melbourne 1-4-10 at the Dome on a Friday night.
Half-time. As we look at Collingwood and we go down to Ricky Olarencio, who wants to tell us about the North Melbourne forwards, Rick.
Yeah, I'm just wandering past Dean Lay at the moment. He's really happy with their work ethic, but he has spent a lot of time talking about their forward line. They're getting it in there, but one thing he says, all their forwards are actually leading up towards the ball carry, and what he wants a couple of their players to slide towards the goal square so the players with the ball can kick into space. So that was his message at quarter time. He's still with his players at the moment. The Collingwood players have now disbanded, but one thing I noticed about the Collingwood huddle is that about 6 or 7 players on their stomach getting massages on their cars. They're obviously expecting a really hard running game.
Great job, Ricky. So just taking a look at those figures, probably most of them favour North Melbourne in terms of possession, but Collingwood have got it on the board.
And I reckon Scott Pendlebury sees the game from that angle that we watched coming out of that ad break, because he's got such great vision. One of the guys that, or the matchups that stands out in this game has been Ferrito on Cloak. Now, Collingwood have gone to Cloak on a number of occasions, but I think Ferrito's been huge. He attacks the ball. He's first to move. He's happy to play in front. He's not worried about Cloak getting it around behind him. And if Collingwood, they've been effective going forward with other players, but if they're to get the effectiveness in their forward movements, they really need Travis Cloak to stand up and be more of a target for them.
Magpies by 11 points then, 3-3 to 1-4. Big crowd, virtually full the Dome. Start of the second term on Friday Night Football. Not the greatest bounce. Wood got a hand to it. McMahon, they stay off him. Feeds it out wide. This is Ross running down towards half forward. Spots are leading Thomas and hits him on the chest. Really easy.
Really good setup there, Dennis, from the Kangaroos. What they were able to do was isolate Brent Harvey. He was the centre half forward, 35 metres out from goal. And all he did was lead up, which gave him space in behind. There he is, you'll see him in the picture, and then coming right in behind. A really good setup. They had a lot of players deep, and I reckon that's exactly what Ricky was saying. Get the players back so you can lead into space.
Proving a bargain, the 53rd man taken in the 2006 draft, but not his best effort there. It wanders out of bounds in the left full forward pocket.
It's been an issue for him, hasn't it? Set shots.
Well, that was very casual.
Don't block.
He's probably needs to go back with a little bit more purpose, or even play on off the mark just to make him feel comfortable.
Hale at the back and Petrie in the front, and Johnson. Here's Thomas. He's better at these.
That's what he needs to do.
Collingwood would be disappointed with that stoppage in your defensive 50, and Ben Johnson probably was the guy who had the first bit of play on this. Wasn't able to take the ball cleanly despite a little bit of pressure, but still you've got to take your chances, keep the ball in front of you and give yourself a second crack at it. And as you said, Ox, Lindsay Thomas, he had to find a way to kick a goal, put himself under more pressure.
So as they started the opening term, North plenty of football in the second term, trailing still by 5 points.
Harvey at centre half forward still for the North Melbourne, being picked up by Clark. I think they found that as a weakness, and they believe Harvey's the right man to put there.
Petrie over the top, knocked it straight down to O'Brien, hand pass to Didak, and that's a good mark inside the forward 50. Not in the hands, but he certainly protected the ball with his body. And Thomas has got it. I'd suggest slightly outside his scoring range, although he's gone back a fair way and obviously thinks he can do this distance. And he comes, he gets underneath it, it keeps going and tucks towards the line. A second time for Rito, helps it across.
Really good play by the North midfield. Then they got up and clogged up that space as soon as they could. It was good play and forced Thomas to take that long shot at goal.
I reckon he missed the Medhurst option though. He had plenty of space.
So Hanson's kick to centre wing. Petrie, such a versatile player. On the ball, forward or back. Thomas uses his body brilliantly and gives Harvey the run of it inside the 50. Does he centre or go for goal? I reckon he might go for goal now. No, centering handball's okay. Jones, Brent Harvey, you little beauty.
That's the matchup they like. There's no doubt that they're happy with Marty Clark picking up Brent Harvey. They've given him a licence up forward. He's nowhere in the picture there. He may have even gone on ball at this stage. But have a look at this. This is just good awareness. He's looking inside. There's no option. He thought, I'll turn Heath Shaw inside out here. And then all of a sudden he sucks 3 players to him. And there's your free man. He's a clever player. And Pendlebury gave up the ghost. Didn't have enough pressure from behind.
There's the man that got the goal, but as Bruce said, Brent Harvey is a beauty. Had a season-high 34 possessions against Collingwood back in round 5. The average is 23 over 17 games against the Magpies, his most against any club. One down decisively by Wood. O'Brien to Didak, a carbon copy of the previous clearance inside the forward 50. It falls in front off hands. Pendlebury went to give a Shepherd. Didak got the football. Back to Pendlebury, who's been very good. He stops with composure, almost to Anthony. Hanson gets back, looked up before he'd taken the ball. He fumbled. Now he's got a problem. Don't see how that can be holding the ball. He's taken it. Oh, wow. That is amazing.
He's still got to make an effort to get rid of it, and I think that's what the umpire has said.
But he didn't dive on it, did he? He was tackled down in this situation.
You put your head down there. He tackled you around the waist. The ball wasn't pinned. Must try and knock it out. John, can you come out a metre? That's it. He's right on the mark. There it is.
Hanson watches the replay. I'm not sure he's convinced.
Well, it's his own fault. He shouldn't have fumbled in the first case, and that's what he did. He looked up too early. He had to take it clean. He had time. His own error.
Sound like my mother. In comes Anthony, and he's kicked another one. That's a lovely kick.
I can tell you, when he came down to the club, he wasn't the best drop punt that I'd seen, but he's worked hard on it. And one thing he's always done well, as we've seen, both of his goals have come from tackles inside 50, and he's willing to put that pressure on and get the reward for it.
Just there, he looked up, and you saw that grab the footy first, then you take off. That's just a young player. Lockie Hansen hasn't played a lot of footy. He'll learn from it.
He's a good kick, isn't he? He's manages to kick a goal in 2-1, 2-2 in his 4 games so far this year.
It's taking your opportunities. If you're kicking 2 goals a week, it's pretty hard to be put out of the side.
So Collingwood back in front. Let's see if this quarter takes the same journey as the opening term, with North getting plenty of it, but Collingwood getting their noses in front. So Pratt back to Hansen. Wild kick. Frito got a terrible bounce. Didak at 60 metres. Probing kick. Thomas. Not quite. And then Gibson had to hold up. Petrie in trouble. He did get it out. Medhurst sweating on it. Well done, Pratt. Terrific stuff. Back to Hansen, who's having a horror couple of minutes, I reckon. Back to Medhurst. Boundary throw-in.
You spoke about taking your opportunities and kicking goals, but another great tackle there from Anthony. If he keeps doing that, as we see this fly here from Thomas, just couldn't quite get purchase on a North play on that occasion.
Didak to O'Brien, and O'Brien trying to work it back left to right, misses, just hangs it out to the left. Behind. So this game going very much in spurts, one side then the other, and Pratt in the wars again.
He's having a bad evening.
Doesn't look good. We shouldn't laugh. Dropped a very heavy hit in the head earlier. Now we know that. He is very tough. Scramble outside the 50. Collingwood players step back and holding the ball. Goes against North.
Holding it in. 3 Kangaroo players. No, Cameron Wood. Play on.
Wood plays on to O'Brien. O'Brien to Pendlebury. Pendlebury nonchalantly inside the forward 50. Pratt, bad leg and all, up he goes, takes the mark.
Well, coming in for number 12, he's an absolute warrior at the moment.
This whole game has been, what, an hour and a bit, or close to an hour of convalescence. We're short of the hour, but it's 22-29.
Gibson short to Hale.
So this bloke has stood up since Hamish McIntosh went down too. He's done everything required of him, and he really matured as a footballer.
Hale's kick to Rawlings was heavy traffic, but good kick, good mark.
There's 5 players around him on that occasion.
He's got Harvey very short if he wants him. Decides to go down the line. Jones the target. Johnson, I think might be a mark, is it, to Campbell. Play on to Harvey. He was pretty good in this situation 5 minutes ago. To Thomas, to Campbell. Back to Campbell. Check side. Not quite. Gee, they've got some tricks. Down to you, Rick.
On Daniel Pratt, he actually didn't want to come off. It was actually Dr. Connie who went out there and told him to get off. He's now gone down the race to have that. It looks like his ankle assessed, and Gibson has now gone to... No, Gibson's still on Pendlebury. Medhurst is one they need to match up on.
Collingwood, one of the greatest of the sides that attacks along the boundary more than any other, but we're seeing that from North as well, especially when they go inside 50. It's been very effective for them.
Lockyer towards half forward. Burns has got it. Wheels around. Little chip down towards the attacking 50. Reeshaw slides in, juggles the mark. Wants to go. Centering kick, and O'Brien, nobody near him. And Thomas running across, putting his hands up as if to say, whose man is he? But not much cop in that, looking back over your shoulder, wanting to blame somebody else.
No, he had literally 40 metres within the 50-metre arc. Just too much space. And Reece Shaw really well done there, because he could have actually been sucked in the game to the top of the 50.
O'Brien gets it.
He's a bit of a pinch hitter, Ox. He prefers the left foot in general play, and when he gets a chance to set up for a shot at goal, he kicks with his right. But he's had 5 touches already this quarter. Shane O'Brien, Alan Didak's had the same, and together they've created a little bit of midfield run for the Pies. There are 2 goals up in this match, but I don't think the Kangaroos will be disappointed with the way this game's being played.
So their #1 clearance man kicking the goal after Reece Shaw's clever entry into the 50.
Dane Swan and Heath Shaw have had 4 touches between them. down on their usual numbers.
So a 2-goal game. Hale in the ruck. Bryan won the tap. Well done by Swan, right on cue to Shaw. Kicks to centre half forward. Gibson belted it away. Danger. Wellingham. He's got plenty of time here. Should goal, and he does.
Good finish there, but a shocking structure for North Melbourne. The last 2 times it's been in, they've just been caught behind. They've had a couple of loose players too, and I reckon Dean Laley will be sitting in the box saying, how can that happen twice in 2 minutes, that we've got loose players sitting out inside 50 by themselves with no opponent around? Too dangerous at the moment.
So the clearances in this term 4-1 Collingwood's way, and they're getting clean possession out of the middle. Generally, it's been the same play. Back to about, as we look at it, 11 o'clock. Although Bryan is in there now, opposed to Goldstein. And things change. Power to Goldstein, under pressure, coming through McMahon. And this time they get the clearance. North Melbourne comes to Rawlings, kicks inside the forward 50. Could have been almost hands in the back there. Petrie was the flyer. Johnson bodying up with Campbell. Taken by Jones, slips it away. Wells deep in the pocket. Oh, well done. Goldstein has it 25 metres out.
Gee, Thomas was good then. Just took Johnson off the ball, created a space for his Campbell off the ball, just created a space here. There it was. And then he puts in he also put in a Shepherd. It's really good hard working from a little forward. Dean Laley will be delighted with that, and this is just smart play by Wells.
Goldstein just turned 20. And he comes. Nice effort. They needed that one too. Timely goal. Under pressure.
We're seeing an even spread of goal kicking from both sides, as you'd expect with their key forwards from the last 3 or 4 years out of the side in Nathan Thompson for the Roos and Anthony Rocker for Collingwood. But they've been able to attack very well from these pockets, find players in the middle of the ground in time and space, and obviously with better chances of converting.
So the 20-year-old, his first career goal with a basketball background, just his second match tonight. Did well against the Power last week. So back to a 2-goal game. Goldstein in the ruck. Power to Simpson. He's on the wrong side for him, but he's got time. It's a good kick. Rawlings getting heavily involved in this quarter. And then Rawlings with a penetrating kick to centre half forward. Brown, Thomas, good tackle. Now this will be interesting. Free kick to Brown.
It's a free kick. Yes, I'm serious. Play on.
Where's John McEnroe when you need him?
Cannot be serious.
Here's Swan hugging the line to Didak.
Just watch them chip up the boundary line more often than not. They'll create some space down the line and find a loose target down there. Travis Cloak, perhaps on this occasion.
Scotty Burns from half back, kicks beyond the wing, fisted away by Gibson. Didak's been handy in this turn. They stay off him. Thomas spears the pass towards half forward, taken by Heath Shaw. Almost been 50 there. Heath Shaw has come around a little bit too and centres the ball to Pendlebury, and that's a clever mark.
Well, Alan Didak's just got involved in this second term. He's had 7 touches already in the second term alone. He's had more kicks than any other player in the competition this year.
By about 40.
By about 40. So he's, when he used the ball as well as he does, half of them have been out of the air and off the ground, but geez, clever.
Pendlebury closer to goal than his previous set shot. He missed by a couple of metres last time. This has got the carry. It's good.
Being challenged now. Kangaroos, when they go inside, they've just bombed the last couple of times when Collingwood have gone forward. They've got open players. And if the Kangaroos are going to play that game where they push their numbers down, they've got to get back just as quick. And Collingwood moving the ball really fluently, which means that when they do go forward, that they've got spaces opening, and they're starting to really hurt them.
You can see Collingwood really starting to get into their rotations. Pendlebury and Didak going through the middle. O'Brien, Burns, Swan, Reece Shaw and Heath Shaw has been moved forward. They've got a lot of adaptability.
All good players and plenty of them, Bucks. As Worlds kicks Goldsack onto it. Collingwood by 3 goals. Oh, bad bounce. Back to O'Brien, Burns. Interesting there that Wells hip and shouldered him rather than put the tackle on.
He's in trouble here. Got him. Well, Goldsack was on his own there because Campbell came off and he had no opponent. Grant's just come onto the ground now. Simpson's free.
And that's where he's gone. Wells to the skipper, to
free kick.
Shane O'Brien. Up there, don't. Yeah, no, it's up there. It's a reversal up there. Shannon, Drew, do you want the mark? Drew, don't do it. Reversal.
It's against Drew Petrie.
Okay, so that's O'Brien free kick at half back.
Got to say, it's all working for Collingwood with the umpiring decisions.
So Simpson back to Gibson, and then Gibson to Grant.
Grant, another left footer then, goes inside the forward 50. Hale hands to it, couldn't hang on. O'Brien got it to Clark. Goldsack needs to guard the football better and almost coughed it up again. Clark, Johnson got boot to ball. Quick thinking by Betty Johnson going to the ground. Burns, O'Brien, well done Collingwood. Wood's got it on the wing. Dropping back is Thomas. Wood fancies himself, gets a hand pass away. Oh, Wood. Chest pumped out. O'Brien kicks inside the forward 50. Leap at the back came from Wellingham. Stolen down there by Watt. Got a hand pass away to Wells. Harvey, another one of those patented runs around the outer side perhaps. No, he elects to kick this time. Petrie on the lead's got it. 75 metres out from goal. Running hard as McMahon. Good mark in the hands under real pressure. Goldsack virtually step for step with him. Tyson Goldsack is just had a few problems in the last few minutes.
Well, that's it, Brownie. As a defensive effort, Goldsack's effort was very good because
couldn't be any closer without being on top of him.
And he was going for the attempted spoil, and that's about as close as you can go to slowing the player down because it was actually in the act of attempting to spoil. But North was still able to find space forward, and Petrie has been a very dangerous forward for them this season. When he goes into that position, he's a very good player.
Yes, he's like a Swiss Army knife. He does a lot of things for North Melbourne, and he comes. And amongst those things, kicking goals.
Geez, they show some pluck, Ox. They just keep coming, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do, and that was really good ball movement. It was the effort down back where the ball came inside, and they had to win it because it was 2-on-2. And then they hit target after target after target. The thing I liked about it from Collingwood's perspective, right behind them, right there, they didn't have any free player really other than Harvey, who had a couple of metres, but they were to their man, and that's all you can ask.
Another matchup. Lee Harding's doing a fantastic job on Heath Shaw. Just the 4 touches to date. Heath Shaw, you'd want a little bit more from him for Collingwood to be able to maintain their lead at the moment.
Well, Travis Cloak hasn't taken a mark either. He's just had the 3 possessions, so he's been well held too by Fredo.
So Petrie, Simpson had a fumble. Reece Shaw's back turn. Maxwell to Swan, to Burns, to Wood, to Reece Shaw. Neat kick to Thomas, not quite. Good footy from both players there, going hard at it.
Gone. As soon as you have a teammate,
You held it in with your opponent, Reece Shaw's kick.
as soon as your teammate comes in and he jumps in there, you're in trouble.
So Didak, well, this could be a turnover. Urquhart read it pretty well. Back to Rawlings, back to Simpson and Rawlings again. hugging the line. Not 15. Jones did so well with the half volley there. Rawlings again. Simpson on Burns. So one captain just belting the other out of the way as we go back to Wakeland.
He's on the wing, Wakeland. Back tracking. Dangerous kick. Well, lovely stuff to O'Brien. Campbell and Thomas bearing down. O'Brien took the mark thanks to the clarity of the kick. Across the ground goes O'Brien and finds Heath Shaw. Collingwood providing chances to the opposition and squandering some of their own. On the outer side, Johnson. Just imagine Mick now having a fit of melancholy in the coach's box. Bryan, 70 metres out. Low down cloak. It may have been a mark. I didn't hear the umpire say touched. Wood. Put down by Ferrito. Wonderful balance by the defender. The hand pass to no one in particular. Heath Shaw worked off the line of it. Petrie got fingertips to it. Ross feeds it back on the outer side. Wells spots a man. The movement attracted him. Jones has got the football on the wing. Not much to kick to. Bypasses the men in short. Now they need a mark here because numbers are against them. Grant was up. Falls to Burns. Lays it off. Lockyer over his shoulder. Johnson. Well, they're making heavy weather of this. Burns tackled. Wonderful pressure north. Lockyer, can he find a man? He does. And that was a big kick, a big play to Pendlebury.
Just on the line, wasn't it? Shaw gets it from Pendlebury. Medhurst clever. Lovely mark. Worked his man out. And kick to Didak. And the percentage low in the end. How do you, Rick? Ricky?
There's Daniel Pratt there, back on the bench. He's just reappeared. He's done a few strides up and down the boundary. Seems to be moving pretty well, so I reckon we'll see him again before half-time.
So we've been sitting on around about a 2-goal game for a while now. Collingwood have got it to 3 a couple of times. Here's Shaw. Clever to Didak. Now that ball normally for Didak, he talks to it generally, and was listening a little bit.
He was saying go left.
Gee, the chase by Urquhart was outstanding, though. He didn't give up on it. And the ball's going to come back, and it's a 50.
You can't duck back in front of him. No. Brady, your kick, you're closest. Mark's here. Yeah, but he deviated back to block the man. He deviated. I was watching. He deviated back to block him.
Won't win the argument with Steve McBurney.
No, he's a good debater, isn't he, Steve?
Well, that's what happens when you're a lawyer. You've got to be good at talking.
Wells probably charged Bryan for the privilege. Out towards the boundary line, missed by Medhurst, taken by Ferrito, gets a hand pass away, close to the boundary line. Harvey, we've seen this before. Harvey, dinking run. Grant hasn't seen much of the football. Not his best kick, storming up the ground though. Campbell made it look okay. Collides with a teammate in Harris, tries to lay it off. Simpson. And Simpson's had one of those nights so far. Straight to Burns, who's been good. Kicks it to the wing. Thomas. Seems a bit inclined to go for style points, Thomas. That wasn't his best kick. Swan tracks it inside the 50, pulls it back towards full forward. Didak was there somewhere. Urquhart went to ground, needs to be careful. Slings it out like Sir Francis Drake. Hand pass comes across from Petrie, taken by Gibson.
No, didn't go for style, but he got the ball to this area very quickly because of his play on Dale Thomas. But North able to get back in number.
To Pendlebury, well done.
50. Oh.
So Hansen again with the wobbles a bit coming out of defence. Pendlebury to Shaw. This is Reese. So another busy night.
With a young player like Hansen, you just got to say, go long. First mark for Clyde.
Well, coming into this round last year.
Good Trev. Mark's here.
So that's the 50-metre penalty earlier.
Gee.
Coming into this round last year, Cloak had kicked 23-26. This year he's kicked the same number of goals, 23-14. So he's been a lot more accurate. We know he went on to win the Copeland last year. That one not going to be a score unless it's belted through. Anthony got really high. And I think Bryan was looking for a push in the back.
Was that British Bulldogs, was it?
Did he do that?
No, he just dived in over the top of 5.
Well, that was one of the first times that Travis Clyke was an inside 50 target and Ferrito wasn't on him. So I think it's a fair lesson there to North. They've got to make sure that they keep Ferrito on Clyke because he's been doing the job.
We likened him to Michael Stipe's appearance earlier. He thought it was a mosh pit. He'll have a bounce about 25 metres out. 48 plays 35. Petrie knocks it down. Pendlebury could have almost got a free kick. Comes to Wood, finds a way through but misses. He's been okay tonight, Wood. Now,
there we go. There it is right there, Dennis. What you were talking about. I think I'm onto something, David. I think I'm onto something. It's the Collingwood cheer squad just putting the ball out when
yes.
Prater just picked out another one out of the basket.
Short to Ferrito.
Yeah, there, Chris, thanks.
And Ferrito's got this football. Still well inside the defensive 50. Goes across the ground and Pratt has it now.
No one on the mark. He can play on, but he refuses to.
Fine there, Heath. You got it.
Alan Didak is walking across centre half forward for Collingwood. He's the only player that doesn't have a man. And I think it's supposed to be a man-on-man zone from what I'm looking at.
So Ferrito now with a decision to make. And off one step, he just pokes it up in the air, and Clark couldn't quite. He had a bit of it. Jones able to get involved. Well done, Clark. Now can he get it out?
That's good. Didn't drag it in. Straight back.
No, they're all one-on-one right over the ground.
Wood got the tap. Harvey tried to toe poke it out. That came out in a hurry from Wakeland. Wood, well done to Medhurst. Little kick to Anthony. Back to Cloak, and that's a good handle because he's a left footer, but that's not a good kick. Petrie able to gobble that up.
He's got the shanks at the moment, Cloak. His last couple of efforts just kicking around the corner.
So Petrie underside has to come wide. Grant worked well and gets the ball between centre wing and half back.
Wells has got some space here on Bryan, is it? Or O'Brien?
So Wells is about 70 metres out. 11 possessions so far. Inside the forward 50, the little man again.
He's a star, isn't he?
Terrific.
He pushed off Clark 20 metres before that. He only needed 2 metres. He's got good hands.
Petrie's got it. Told to play on not 15 moments ago. He had it at centre half back. Harvey, Petrie. Petrie in trouble back to Harvey. No way through. Hand passes Goldwood. Getting back is Medhurst under pressure. Flips it out only as far as Pratt. Pratt, Mr. Fix it tonight. Oh, is hit the post.
See, they're dangerous, North. Geez, they stay in the contest, and Harvey's been fantastic. He's played centre forward for most of the night. He's had 15 touches already.
Medhurst starting to get a bit of the ball. So Pratt a couple of behinds tonight, one from the set shot and that one.
Really been happy with Ferrito's job on Cloak. He's worn him like a glove, and every time the ball has come, he's been either beside him or he's been in front of him, and that's really stopped Cloak's effectiveness over the game.
Powers handball to Harris. The advantage given, so Harris running hard. Goes too far, does he?
Gee. That was very close.
He's had a quiet night, hasn't he?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh. Gee, I reckon they can feel pretty stiff there.
Hasn't had much of the footy, Harris, so far.
No, he hasn't. He's only 2 players have had less kicks at him or possessions at him.
So Pendlebury to Reshaw. Oh. Now that one is out, but not on the full.
There seems to be a lot of difference between Daniel Harris's best and his worst, and I think that's been the concerns coming out of the North Melbourne camp in the last month or so.
Dying seconds of the term, then we're down to 2 seconds. Hale tapped it down. There's the siren. Friday night football, North Melbourne refused to go away a couple of times. Collingwood seemed to have them by the scruff of the neck, but North Melbourne weren't buying it. 7-7 plays 5-6. This is halftime on Friday night football. Magpies led by 11 points at quarter time. It's now 13. Plenty of run and experience starting on the bench for the Magpies in the second half. Anthony with 2 goals. Alongside him, Bryan. At the opposite end, Tyson Goldsack, not his best half of football, the opening one, but he's been a terrific young player for Collingwood back in defence.
Heath Shaw up onto the wing too. He'll be picked up by Power.
Petrie, plenty of it, as always. Very good for North Melbourne tonight. Started the second half on Friday Night Football. Petrie lays it down. Wood goes after it. Harris plays it in front. Reece Shaw arrived quickly. Harris did well. Simpson clever. The look away hand pass. Thomas drives it inside the forward 50. Campbell hands to it. Didn't hang on. And the ball goes across the boundary line. We'll have a throw in.
Good effort from a little fella there, Campbell. He was outnumbered and outsized, able to bring the ball down. And Daniel Wells is now loose in defence, so they'll be hoping that run off half-back will help the Kangaroos out.
Jones got down low, and now Clark. Good handball to Wakeland. So Wakeland on the left. That's a good kick to space. Wellington fast enough. Oh, brilliant power, though. Goes back to Pratt. He had a fascinating opening half. Back in board to McMahon. To Power, too slow.
Advantage.
Heard the umpy. So Clark. Now they got themselves into trouble, Wellingham, so not much advantage in the end.
No talk to Power then. He took off, and I don't reckon anyone around him said, "You're hot."
Thanks, mate.
Good chase by Goldsack, though.
Petrie front spot. Wood at the back. Well done, Wood. The backup was good. Gets it to Harding. Now to Wells.
Wells at half-back then drives it to midfield. Lovely kick. There's great vision, actually, spotting Petrie out the back. He kicks for space on the lead. It's Jones. And he plays tall, and given that situation, he'll get it 7 times out of 10.
We called Cameron Wood for good play there to follow up his ruck work, but this is an area of improvement for him, as we can see. He just lets his opponent drop out the back far too often. It happens a couple of times a game. It's an area that he really can work on and adapt.
I reckon we're seeing a game very indicative of two coaches that know each other very, very well. Dean Laidley, of course, did his apprenticeship under Mick Malthouse, and it's a real arm wrestle here at the moment.
Corey Jones right behind him. Works back to the middle. Lovely kick.
Just watching Petrie there in the middle of the ground. When he looked up, we'll see it here, Wells, the player was speaking about. He spots him up here. All the players are on the right-hand side of the ground, and the other side of the ground is fully open. And that's really smart set up by the Kangaroos to leave that open so the players can work into space. That's a good structure. That's what Dean Laidley will be really pleased with.
They haven't been this close for a while, I reckon, inside the 2 goals. So Jones with a couple. So he's the multiple goal scorer now for the Kangaroos. Petrie having a big night against Wood, and Simpson, who had quite his first half on his wrong side, gets it to the hospital. McMahon flew very high. Now Harvey, still with Harvey, and can't get the angle in the end. He'll be disappointed with that.
He actually created some space when very few players would have, as we see McMahon go for that fly forward of centre, but you can't. It's pretty hard to knock the north side off. They just keep coming, and Collingwood have to do something special if they're going to win this game going away. It's just not going to happen.
Well, you can sense a little surge coming on, but Collingwood are good at soaking up pressure.
O'Brien drives it to the outer side. Juggled, was it? Across the line. There's a conference between the umpires. It'll be a throw-in. And this has been the story of the game. North have started every term better than Collingwood. Collingwood have worked back into it. I think the umpire was right.
I don't know about that, Den.
We'll expand. Go on.
Well, I reckon the juggle happened before the line, and his second grab, he was still inside, and then he took it over.
Okay.
Scoop Jubo right there.
Bounce on the outer side. Wood and Petrie. Wood stood his ground well. Petrie bounced off him. Thomas close to the boundary line. I'll check with David. What do you think?
Yeah, handball. He let go. That was fine.
I think that one's correct.
Handball.
Okay.
Here it is. Have a look at this one, Den. Still inside. Yep.
Nah.
You've got to be joking.
Toss it in. Give it to the game. Down goes Harris. Play on's the call. Is holding the ball. Advantage is paid. Wood Going back, Hansen takes the mark.
I've got to say, as I look from left to right, only one of the two of you are wearing glasses right now.
Yes. Thanks, Bruce.
Play on, play on, play on!
Here's Petrie. Good kick, half volley. Campbell, well done to Thomas. And such a great handball. Harris, who had the quiet opening half. Wells just had to fish for it a bit. Here's the running bounce. We talked about how many he's had so far. Cute kick, found the target. And Ferrito going forward.
I reckon Mick will highlight Wells in a moment. They can't allow him to be free.
Pop out, thanks, Heath.
They'll have a free in their back line too, but I think if Wells is the loose man for North Melbourne, Mick's not going to be happy with that.
Well, I think North are doing a better job of rounding up Collingwood's loose player. It's Harry O'Brien, but they're not allowing that. Collingwood are trying to release either Tarkin Lockyer or Heath Shaw, but North are doing a good job at making sure it's a less effective player.
So Ferrito, who hasn't kicked a goal so far this year, until right now, they're within a point.
Exactly the start that North Melbourne were looking for, as we see Pendlebury coming off the ground, just looking a little bit proppy. I thought they were in trouble there with Lindsay Thomas's error. Probably Collingwood could have won a free kick also, but if this bloke is getting it free and he's got players on either side supporting him, they won't stop at Collingwood. But that's a beautiful finish from a backman.
A point the difference. Ricky Olorenshaw.
Well, there is a small injury concern here for the Pies. Scott Pendlebury, he's just walking around the boundary at the moment. Had a chat to the physio out on the ground about a leg injury. The physio told him to come off just as a precaution, but he'll just walk it out and see if he can get back on.
Petrie hooks it down behind. Simpson. Harris. North doing very well at the moment. Going towards half forward. Stumbling at the ball was Clark. Well played by Clark. Improvising. Slapped out of there though by Jones. Harvey pulls it back. And Petrie will get a free kick. Taken across the shoulder. Well, chopped his arm, says the umpire.
You hit him here.
Playing very smart footy at the moment, Drew Petrie, and when he gets a chance.
Look at that. Harvey can turn you inside out quicker than any other player.
And it shouldn't surprise any of his opponents that he's actually going to come back onto his right foot, because he always does, but he's so low to the ground.
It's a rubbish free kick too.
Petrie from outside the 50 gives it a ride. Big kick. Goal. North in front.
Well, Petrie's got a couple now. Corey Jones has got a couple. I still think that they've identified Marty Clark and Harvey, because each time it's gone inside, they've looked for Harvey. That there, he can just turn so quickly. He's very lucky to get the free kick, but they're dangerous because they're getting it in quick and they're lowering their eyes. They're not bombing it anymore, and they're spotting up that short option, which is really hurting Collingwood.
So we're going to go way back to that opening term. The last time North were in front here, 3 quick goals. Petrie and Corey Jones are a couple each now. 2 of their scorers in this third quarter. They've been winning the centre clearance breaks. Hansen to Power. 2 players that have turned it over a bit tonight. Wells, well, Oxshire talked about him. He's become very important. Keeps finding targets. Grant goes onto the pocket.
I want to have a look at this one as well.
So what's happening at the moment is North are getting first hands on the ball. Collingwood midfield is dropping back to try and support its defence, but it's not going all the way. It's getting caught in no man's land. So North are able to control the ball and get it over the top in the space in their forward line.
Well, unlike Thomas, Campbell's usually very good from the set shots.
Oh, Bruce. Smart play by Grant, but good play by Wells. And what they've been able to do is identify the weak side of the ground, and they've got the ball on quick. They haven't messed around with it. And here's Grant playing on inside 50, and normally he'd have a shot at goal, but he honoured the lead. And yeah, it may have been a little bit soft, but it's the players playing in front. Ben Johnson caught behind.
Played them up.
But it's their transition at the moment where they're just getting the ball onto the boot and they're catching Collingwood asleep.
Matthew Campbell from the Pioneers in the Territory via North Adelaide. Dangerous forward. They've got a couple of late goals back in round 5 that sunk the Magpies. 60 plays 49. They've kicked the last 5, North.
This is where they're killing
Storming out of the middle. Harris to Pratt. Now Watt.
Weak side again.
Going back, comes across the ground. Gee, they're running. They're finding space, and they're doing it with authority. 3 of them around the football. Rawlings to Wells, who had the misfortune to slip over. Still had time to get to his feet. To Ross. Ross 60 metres out, goes short to Jones. And Jones has taken the mark.
Well, centre clearances are just they're getting smashed. 5-0 in this quarter. But what another good kick by Ross. That's his second inside 50 where he's hit the target. And that's just too much time. You can't afford your players to fall over and still get up and still have no pressure put on them.
Well, that loose player behind the ball has been the move from Dean Laidley that's made all the difference. They're winning the clearances, feeding the ball back, and then with time and space, they're finding their teammates up forward.
Jones going at his 3rd. Just left of the mark. O'Brien goes up and marks it across the line and immediately runs in with a footy and goes short to Swan. In the back pocket to O'Brien. O'Brien for distance up towards the wing from behind Maxwell, showing a lot of courage for Rito. Came back. Urquhart immediately attracts a crowd. Heathshaw got it, didn't want it. It was like the parcel. He put it back to Urquhart when he realised they had him by the arm and he could have been penalised.
35 possessions to 11 in this quarter in favour of North Melbourne.
So Petrie winning the tap. Urquhart cut off by Heathshaw and then Pendlebury. And out on the fall, I think, against Urquhart. So Pendlebury off one step now. Swanee set him a task, got a good bounce. Harding got him. Well done, Harding. Swan very strong through the hips, held up. Maxwell back to O'Brien, holding the footy. No. Maxwell, this will be a goal. It is. A remarkable kick.
And the Kangaroos fans won't be happy with that because they laid 2 very good tackles in that passage of play. That first one on Swan there where he got slung around, we got the handball away, and then here again by young Ben Ross. But O'Brien had the presence of mind just to get the ball away, and luckily to Nick Maxwell with a fantastic snap.
First inside 50 for the quarter, a goal.
Bit of luck for Collingwood. O'Brien's kick was as late as a 7-4-7 bound for Perth. 9-7-8-7.
There's Dean just saying if you're going to get the tackles, let's make sure we nail them.
Petrie goes up, knocks it down, spills across to Burns. Now Clark. Swan with Shaw going down towards half forward, kicks with the outside of the boot. Look out for Rito, oblivious to what was coming up the ground, got a fist on it and defiantly knocked it out of bounds.
With each team with a loose player behind, the clearance winners become even more important because as you can see there, Collingwood fed back and were able to get the ball into their forward 50.
Wood putting the smother on G. Wells. He's having a big quarter. Got a lucky bounce. Ross is in trouble. First mistake he's made tonight, I reckon.
Yeah, and if you're going to do it around Scotty Burns, you better make sure because he can tackle.
And then Burns kicks to the goal square. Medhurst. Oh, well done.
Too good. That's a player in form right there, knowing where the ball's going to drop, protecting the space and using... And the one thing that Medhurst has got, he's got a really good rump. Got the strength through the hips.
He's got a lot of strength.
This is interesting. He likes to play on in this situation. He likes to run around a bit.
I don't think he will now.
And he does it late with that mark. It was a late effort, which was a beauty. So Medhurst is on the board. He keeps that goal per match running. Collingwood dead set level.
Well, we've got a game now, Ox. We knew that we were coming in against to see 2 sides vie, as you see. Scotty Burns here, he had both of his arms pinned. He very nearly got it on his boot.
Gee,
but
that's
Medhurst got got the pressure into the side of Gibson, and on one of his few occasions was able to get away from him. But these two sides, they're very even. And we know that they have a real crack, and it's exactly what we're seeing tonight.
Midway through this third term on Friday Night Football, it's a cliffhanger. All tied up, 61 apiece. Massive crowd. Big night financially for North Melbourne. Bryan and Petrie. Petrie won it. It's been so good tonight. Burns going nowhere. Umpire will do it again. The margin was 13 points at half-time. He can sent it. Over the top, Jones hooks it down. Burns, Brown smothered off the boot. Coming through is Thomas. Well done, Simpson. Heard the call. Sent away on his left side. Grant wide of the mark. Going back is Campbell. Not sure he touched it. Yes, he did. So a boundary throw in from the right full forward pocket.
Daniel Wells pushing up through the centre of the ground. He's still loose behind the ball, and Collingwood have been unable to stop his run and unable to get their loose play in an effective position.
Well rove there by Jones, but he's on his wrong side. Now, it's an interesting stage of the match. Petrie's come off the ground. He's put a big effort in here.
Certainly has.
Goldstein's on to do the ruck work. Can Collingwood expose that situation? The Goldstein's just his second game. He hasn't looked out of sorts, has he?
No.
Here's Didak. Squaring the ball for Swan. Collingwood trying to build here. All square at the Dome. Two teams that have had some cracking games in the last couple of years, playing for high stakes. Collingwood win. They're in the top 4 on the ladder tonight. North Melbourne win. They're in the 8 tonight. And the loss, well, it would make it tough for Collingwood to get the double chance and make it very tough for North to be playing finals football in September.
Johnson ambitiously takes on Ferrito, dragged down, got the hand pass away in the nick of time with Swan from Pendlebury, arches the back, gets through, 70 metres out, miss kicks, it bounces down towards full forward. Anthony overran the football. Watt goes back and concedes the lead. 62 plays 61. Ferrito has been terrific.
Well, that's not giving up. That's believing that you can still get him, and super effort.
So Hansen has been a bit shaky with the footy tonight, and that's a terrible kick. His disposal's been poor.
I think what he needs to do is actually get back off the mark, give himself some time. Don't worry about putting the ball up in the air, and just kick the ball long down the line.
Taken number 3 in the same draft as Gibbs at 1 and Gumbleton at 2.
Straight away. No prior. Thanks, guys. Stand up. Behind you, Brownie. Yeah.
Very interestingly poised at the moment.
Watch the box and hold.
Goldstein and Bryan, and then Hale to help out. So the two big guys there for the Kangas. Well done, Burns. Back to Johnson. Smother. Butted up really well, Johnson. Back to Bryan. Well done, Rawlings. Got a hand in there. Likewise by Pratt. Thomas, terrific. Well, I reckon that summed up a lot of what North was about.
It did. And when the game's in this sort of situation, I mean, it's a long way. There's still a lot of the game to be played, but these key clearance situations, when the game is up for grabs, these are the ones that are important.
Close to the boundary line. Johnson under pressure. Medhurst hurriedly down towards the attacking 50. In fact, Medhurst came up to meet the ball, and the ball's gone out of bounds. The kick came from Swan.
8-5 the clearances are in favour of North Melbourne this quarter. So they're holding their own there.
Dean Laidley must be delighted. Although, at the moment, they trail by a point. And this is a dangerous ball. Swan again. Can he get through? He does. Well done, Dane Swan.
He's had a good 5 minutes.
Crushed the pack and kicked a goal.
And that started from Alan Didak. He got the ball. He was able to push Urquhart under it. And there it is there. And he pulled the kick, put it out into space. And I can assure you that he knew exactly what he was doing then. He saw Swan And you'll see him lower his eyes right there. That is a clever, clever kick. And Fred will be very filthy with himself not being able to nail the tackle. But you're right, Bucks. Swans had a wonderful 5 minutes.
Swans had 10 disposals in this quarter, 16 for the match.
I reckon he's had 5 or 6 of them in the last 4 or 5 minutes. He's the key clearances I was talking about as we see some of the heavyweights of the AFL looking on.
Steady.
And of course there was Andrew Demetrio and Eddie Maguire there as well.
Brian, doing comedy, Bucks.
Sort of.
Dennis, your position's safe, don't you worry. Ferrito back.
Somebody's got to do it.
To Hansen, to Gibson. Out wide. So Collingwood's kicked the last 3 goals after North had kicked the 5 before that. Well done, Goldstein.
He did really well there too, Burns, just to hold up the play because they're away, North Melbourne.
Here's Power.
Brian back. He's the loose man.
Slow kick, Jones. Well done. He's looked dangerous tonight, Jones.
He's come in. He wasn't in the side last week, and he's done enough to suggest that he's got that hunger back.
Dean Laidley's made a few statements with selections lately, Ox, with no Nathan Thompson tonight.
Oh,
good grab by
that
Petrie.
is strong.
He's a good player, isn't he?
He could kick this.
Yeah, he can. He's a beautiful kick of the football.
Decides to go to the top of the square. Harding's got down there. Almost got it. Still has it. Grant on the right side for him. And misses. Hits the post. He's done that before against Collingwood.
He's good at it, isn't he?
Interesting there. Like, he's sure gets in those situations. He tries to mark the ball. He doesn't see himself as a defender. I reckon there's no situation that he doesn't think that he can win a contest. But on that occasion, I think a big fist was called for.
Got to play the percentages sometimes, don't you, where you just got to smack it away from your opponent.
Play on's the call. Clark out of the back pocket, then drives it up towards the wing. Maxwell fumbled the mark, falling to the ground, knocks the ball into the path of the man we were talking about, Heath Shaw, who was pushed in the back, and he'll get the free.
Thanks, Dan.
68 plays 62, approaching 3/4 time.
Harding's done a fantastic job on Shaw. This is just his 7th touch.
Didak right on the wing then. Johnson. Wood is cruising past. Will he dare to take it to the big man? He does. Whoops. Wood comes back to Johnson. They thought about it, tried to work their way through it, and it didn't quite work out as they drew it up. Petrie applied the tackle. That's fitting.
The big fellas like to show it a bit and do a little bit of fancy footwork.
Throw it in. Wood knocks it down. Hansen, Rawlings. Oh, golly. Good to be here. Good to be alive. Simpson gets a hand pass away.
Oh, what a pick up.
Hurriedly up towards the wing. Lockyer must get it free. Nothing doing. Gee, where's he played it well to? Knocked it down to his own advantage, and now it's holding the ball. Belatedly, the free kick came. It'll come back to Lockyer.
Well, a key one-on-one contest going on over the field, and these battles are important in this stage of the match. When it's up for grabs there, both players not prepared to give an inch. McMahon, a very strong player, but Lockyer being able to get back and affect that tackle.
Wait, go back. Can't run through the mark. Can't run through the mark.
So Heath Shaw, the culprit there, but we'll come back to Lockyer.
Just some of the major winners. Both Reece Shaw and Daniel Wells have had 18 possessions each, both of them sitting on the bench. Harvey's had 17, Scott Burns has had 18, and Alan Didak's had 18.
Move it on. Play on. Play on.
So Lockyer to O'Brien, runs off quickly, and then goes to the pocket. Medhurst. Well done, Petrie.
He's on fire. He's taken a few contested marks this evening, and he looks as powerful in the air as anyone out in the ground.
Just plotting his movements around the ground will be interesting tonight, wouldn't it? I mean, he's had so much of the footy at both ends, all over the place.
Well, he's easily the most influential player on the field at this stage, I reckon.
Pendlebury's big fly, Powers handball, a beauty. Campbell's away.
Oh, he's quick.
Around the outer side, one bounce, then his second. Look at him go, scooting down towards the 50. 4 bounces, pulls it back towards the middle. Ross did well, had it slapped away at the last moment by Goldsack. Now he's in trouble, comes to Goldstein, and Goldstein kicks it through.
That's gold, Dennis.
Absolutely, Bruce.
Gee. That was good work by the big fella. Really good work. It's his second goal for the afternoon, but what about this?
It's not bad work from the little fella either.
Now, Didak is super quick. Marty Clark's super quick, but he gave both of them windburn. Good tackle here too, but gee, they just look so sharp when the ball hit the ground. And for a bloke who's 200 centimetres plus, that's a super finish.
Here's a bonus, Bucks. You talked about Hale before the match. He hasn't got a goal, but Goldstein's got 2.
He has, and we knew that both teams were going to have to manufacture some scoring alternatives to what they traditionally have had in the last couple of years, and both sides are managing at the moment.
Harris has had a better quarter. Harvey running onto it. Goes back to Rawlings, and then Rawlings kicks to centre-half forward. Wakeland able to fill the hole. He just didn't get enough on the ball, Rawlings. Off one step. Thomas running hard, now stopping and propping. And then going back. O'Brien to Swan. So an 11th disposal in this quarter. He made Johnson work. Oh, Petrie again. And then run down from the back free kick.
He's been the difference, Drew Petrie.
He's been awesome.
He's taken contested marks, he's tackled, he's
kicked a couple of goals.
Kicked a couple himself.
Goes short to Hale, who's played very much in Petrie's shadow tonight. He's about 70 metres from goal. Clock running down at three-quarter time. It's a classic so far. Hale very short. Down it was 15. It's paid.
Gio Bree was very close to giving away a 50-metre penalty there. He came in behind. He was waiting for the whistle to be blown.
Rawlings lays it off to Urquhart. Urquhart, not his best kick. Now it'll be a free kick, I think, to the man in front.
Shepherding.
And it's going to McMahon.
Scotty got a blood raw. Okay, thanks very much, Jack. Scotty, it's your free kick.
I think this may be very obvious.
He's having a bit of a mare, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, just too keen to get him out of that contest on that occasion.
And that's the danger of playing on a player like McMahon, who's pretty good overhead. Attacks the footy really well, and Heath Shaw, his influence over the game has been almost non-existent. He's only had the one touch in the third term.
McMahon coming up for his 10th possession then. He's directly in front. Any score sees North Melbourne back in front. Important kick. Important 30-odd minutes to come in this one. McMahon gets it. Shaw shows his frustration.
Well, once again, it was Drew Petrie that started the swing for North Melbourne. And that's just a sloppy free kick. But the pressure that they've been able to put on Collingwood when they're trying to bring the ball back through the corridor, as Buck said earlier, when they go down the wings and they take it close to the boundary line, they look a lot more comfortable. When they're going through, they're a little bit hesitant. And their forward line structure, Cloak hasn't got himself into it. They're battling for options at the moment.
Have a look at North's forward structure here. They're pushing all their numbers back. They've actually got 8 forwards, 7 forwards, but centre-half forward is clear. If they get this clearance, they're off.
Petrie trying to lay it down to Harvey. It was cut off. Burns to Didak, and then Didak quickly to full forward. Clogar, well done. What? Took a lot of guts.
Well, I don't think there's too many players on the North Melbourne side that you can say lack courage.
Harris, so it's a 6-goal to 3-quarter at the moment. Up and under kick. Petrie the go-to man. Harding.
No, Pryor. Just got it.
And on the whole, this quarter, they've controlled the clearances. They've won their share of clearances, and it's mirrored up with inside 50s, and that's why they've enjoyed that scoring dominance this quarter.
Wakeland did a good job there. He's able to really impede Hale. Wellingham's hands good. Thomas so innovative. Can that ball bounce back? No. And Watt really has a bit of time here. Now he's stumbling and fumbling. And really, he had a bit more time than that, but I'll give him full marks for the mark a moment ago.
Yeah, he was still a bit dazed.
5 points the difference. It's too bad you didn't commentate some of my games. Out of the back pocket, Thomas up towards the wing, and the mark is taken there by Wood. He plays on immediately. Pendlebury, 70 metres out, spots Cloak and hits him. Now Cloak is a long kick at the footy, and Collingwood could regain the lead on this kick.
That's how important a contested mark can be. Cameron Wood taking that grab there with Michael Frito in the contest. Been able to get it on quickly to Travis Cloak the first time he's been able to get away from Frito this quarter.
Cloak from the 50 tugs it way right towards the pocket, lurking at the back. It's taken by Maxwell. Didak missed it completely. Well, sometimes he makes the easy look difficult, and sometimes he makes it look very difficult.
You've got to take the good with the bad, because 8 out of 10 times you'll kick that.
Here's Wells running hard. Good shepherd. Handball. It's a space in the end. Harris has had a much better third quarter. Needs to get rid of it. Did, but it was ineffective. It was a good rundown. And then Wood. Now Wood.
He's in trouble.
Good pressure.
Oh.
Very well played by the young fella there, Ben Ross. He didn't give the free kick away. He put enough pressure on here, as we see.
He's like a Cossack.
He didn't know which leg he was going to kick it with, I think.
Get him up!
You can do yourself a bit of harm doing it like that too. Here's Hale. Wells. Well done to Thomas. Looking dangerous north. Thomas to the pocket. Jones and O'Brien. Big one-on-one footy here. Campbell, the danger man. Arches his back. Good tackle though coming from Goldsack. Ross running in. Terrific, irresistible stuff by the Kangas.
Great call, Bruce, and there's no doubt that we talk about it game after game, season after season.
What about the
Kangaroos? Great pickup. They haven't got any match winners in their side. You know, we know that Brent Harvey's very good, and Daniel Wells has got, you know, potential that comes out every now and then, but they're just so even, and their key attribute is their ability to contest, and they're never out of it.
And Ross kept his head, got the goal. Campbell, his speed causing concerns up there, as Bruce said. And the margin is 10 points now. North on top. Huge game for Collingwood, and they're looking down the barrel at the moment. Huge game for both clubs. Down goes Power to Harris. Thomas flicks it away. Wells over the head of Power, bounces obligingly for him. Everything falling into place. Telling kick, needs a mark. Oh, well done by Lockyer. At the last moment, thumped it away from Jones, close to the boundary line. Pendlebury, we're down to 15 seconds. There's going to be a free kick. Advantages paid. Can they get another late goal? They've made a habit of this. Heathshaw inside the forward 50. Medhurst rises high, couldn't hang on. That's a free kick to Frito. Siren, three-quarter time. Set for a thriller. North Melbourne against the odds, trailed by 13 points at the major break. They're in front at three-quarter time. 12-8-80, 10-10-70. This is Friday Night Football. Collingwood led by 13 points at half-time, 11 at quarter-time. Interesting too, the free kicks. At one stage early in the game, it was 9-1 North Melbourne's way, evened up to 16 apiece. Goldstein got an important goal late in that third term.
Dale Thomas has come up to the wing at this stage.
Wells is still free. He's loose man in defence. Mick's not worrying about it. Goldsack now has just realised that he's the loose for the Pies. They're trying to orchestrate that Tarkin Lockyer becomes that player.
Not overstating it, this term could shape September. bounce in the middle. Final quarter, Friday night football. Petrie, who's been superb, won that one down. Spills to Pendlebury, though. Looping hand pass, Bryan. Well, indecisive, really. Bounced obligingly for Wellingham, who feeds it back. Pendlebury, O'Brien, 65 metres out. Long down towards full forward. Two-headed fist away by Gibson at the back. And the hand pass back from Pratt, and he copped another one.
He's going to go home tonight, put his jammies on and sleep very, very well, because he's been bashed.
He might go to the wrong house.
You can see North are aware of Collingwood's man-to-man kick-out strategy here. They've tried to huddle in the centre of the ground and spread.
They've rushed a lot of behinds tonight, North, for Collingwood, haven't they? In a tightish match. Been happy to concede a behind, even giving up the lead with one of them in the third quarter. A terrific match for Rito, but that's not a good kick. So Goldsack a bit up and under, cloaked the target. What comes across, couldn't hold the mark, then he held up in the tackle. Bryan, well done, laid it down to Pendlebury, gets it to Didak. Didak thinking all the time, and Anthony really should have marked it. Gets it back into the field of play, now out.
Just watching Ben Ross, I reckon he's injured and he'll be coming off the ground. He's limping rather badly, but that's a player just taking his eyes off the footy.
Pendlebury has been terrific. 23 possessions. Reece Shaw knocks at Goldwood. Anthony a chance to make amends. He's snapping.
Oh, well done.
He's kicked it. His third.
That's how you fix up for a mistake. As quick as that, attack the footy. A really good punch on here, though, by Reece Shaw. He got involved. Good, clean pickup. And just when you're expecting the message off the runner would have done a U-turn and said, right, I'm going to go back here. I think he realises what he'd actually done, and good finish. 3 goals. Kicking them each week is becoming important.
For a guy who cut his teeth as a defender, as a junior, and coming into the AFL system, he's showing some flair around the goals.
He's a dead-eye Dick, isn't he? He doesn't seem to miss, or whether it's be from a standing shot or round the corner. Harris, Simpson. Back to Hanson, bad handball. Swan picked it off and goes for goal. I hate to harp on it, but Lockie Hanson's having one of those nights.
Yeah, called a shocker.
Here's Harding. His big role tonight is to have kept Heath Shaw down. Forced to go now. Kicks to centre wing. Petrie, who's been just outstanding. You get the 3 votes, you reckon?
Well, he's towered over everyone this evening. When the ball's been put in the air and it's been anywhere near him, he's been unbeatable.
Told to play on. Goes low, just beyond the wing to Hanson.
Yeah, he can redeem himself.
Put the clamps on Harvey. He's up ahead. 3 possessions since half-time. Hanson, well, Harvey no chance on that ball. Coming up the ground was O'Brien. Harvey's opponent put down Clark. Was that holding the ball? No. No prior opportunity. High now on North.
Well, they got it wrong. He should have got the free kick first, because he had plenty of time to get rid of it. Clark.
And that was a square up, because there's no doubt that was a free kick. Great chase down by Campbell. We spoke about
pace.
Both he and Thomas leading into the match, and it's a key attribute of North, and it'll be a difference in this quarter.
Campbell,
can you get the distance?
Man on the mark is 50 metres out, so he's got to kick 55. I think not. He decides he can't either, and then kicks it directly to Maxwell.
That was too obvious. He had to telegraph that. It was shocking.
Clark comes out wide. Medhurst, a quiet night tonight's got it at the interchange gates.
Hasn't got a player in front of him.
Behind the line, O'Brien giving him plenty of talk there. The kick goes down towards half forward. Lurking at the back is Watt. Hand passes to Wells. The short one comes across to Harris. Harris gets a hand pass to Campbell. Campbell a little indecisive. Simpson back to Campbell. Can he break the lines here? No. They corralled him. Close to the boundary, Simpson. High ball down towards the attacking 50. Thomas takes a strong mark on his chest, and I venture to say he too is too far out to score.
In the last quarter in round 5, both Campbell and Thomas were the ones that turned it on.
And we're calling their names a fair bit in this last quarter. That's an absolute shocking kick, but it's gone to a hot spot, and Harvey won't be a score. Hale's in the middle. He's got it. There's a mark.
Gee, they've taken some contested marks in this second half.
Thanks, Shane.
I reckon Matty Campbell saw Drew Petrie lead up there. He tried to pull the kick halfway through.
It was Thomas.
And gee, I get those two. Very hard to tell them apart at times. Oh no, he just slipped. Gave him the benefit of the doubt.
You can be a kind.
Sounded good.
You can be a kind ox at times.
That came off Hale's head then.
So Hale, well, he's never kicked 15 goals in a season. He's sitting on 14 right now. For the third, he's had 2 lots of 40. I know it's a silly stat. Sorry, Rox. Gee, you could be harsh sometimes. He's kicked the goal. Handy. But the point is, Ox, he's become a good goal kicker for them in the second half of this season.
Yep. It's a good milestone to get to 15 goals. It's a good contested mark, though, and in the second half, that's what they've been able to do really well with him and Petrie. Wood and Brian. Brian's had really no influence over the game. Wood's been in and out of it. They've just got to go with these 2 big blokes and nullify their influence.
Strong mark, important goal. The margin is 8 points. Michael Malthouse has won 5 out of 8 against his protege Dean Laidley. And speaking of coaching, I think if I was the Gold Coast, I'd be ringing Chris Evatt. 13-8, 11-12, knocked down by Wood, taken by Swan, slung there by Harris. Now, at the base of all of that, a rather anxious Swan, and will have a bounce alongside his centre circles.
But it was in the possession of the Kangaroos player, not the
both forward lines very open, just 3 pairs in each forward 50.
Wood hooks it down, but straight to Thomas. Thomas unloads inside the forward 50. It's a dangerous ball now. It's bouncing around down there. Socket back across the line by Clark. Prepared to concede. So the margin is out to 9 points North Melbourne's way. It's in quickly on the outer side. Petrie once more got it from Jones. Right on the 50. Dancing around is Pratt. Still agile despite the punishment. Hooks it down towards full forward. From the side, Thomas punched down by Wakeland. Off the ground, Thomas. No, O'Brien. Hand passes it across the line.
Tyson Goldsack, very lucky play. He chose to get involved in that marking contest and left his man in the goal square.
Reece Shaw under pressure. Harvey did well. He hassled it away from him. Then Grant on the up to Worles, who arches his back. Now he's delivered the ball beautifully tonight. That's to a hot spot. Bouncing footy. Gets back to Jones. Ross goes wider. Pratt, can he kick a goal? He loves it.
You're looking at a margin now that's and some momentum that's very hard to turn around. I mean, 16 points at this stage of the game alone is a tough ask, but to be able to turn around the momentum that North Melbourne have been able to gather since half-time will be a tough ask. 11 individual goal scorers for the Kangaroos. They've spread the load and they've done it well.
Well, he's been terrific tonight. He set the standard in many ways. His first goal, the margin is 16 points. North's biggest lead of the night. Collingwood got their lead out to 18 at one stage. And Collingwood now need to find something, and quickly. Harris, socket away by Didac. Wells was there. Over the top, Thomas to Didac. Pendlebury goes down towards half forward, low down. Maxwell takes the tumbling mark, 65 metres out. A centering kick. Cloak can't get to the footy, and Petrie goes back and does brilliantly.
He's Superman tonight.
Ferrito was terrific too. Kept his man grounded and out of the contest, but Petrie wasn't to know that. Simply came back, eyes for the footy, oblivious to all things else, and took the mark.
You can see by that bit of play that Collingwood have obviously been encouraged to play on at all costs. Nick Maxwell didn't even look. He just rolled around and kicked it long. That may play into North Melbourne's hands if they get numbers back.
Burrito finds Gibson.
They've just been super in the air. Contested marks. Petrie's taken 11 marks, but 4 of those have been contested.
So Gibson to a contested mark situation. Harvey read it brilliantly and then takes them on. He's almost within scoring range, but he does the right thing. And this is the biggest kick of the match.
Well, we mentioned Tyson Goldtake before. In that last contest, 3 Collingwood players went up for the footy. They all missed it. And Boomer Harvey, you'll see it here, 3 of them go up. You've got to make contact with either the player or the ball. And Boomer Harvey, he's done that all his career. He's made a habit of getting to the right spot and lowering the eyes again, and that's where they've been so disciplined not to bang away and to hit up those targets.
Some players, when they're at full pace, I don't think the mind works when the legs are working so quickly, but Harvey's probably the best at doing exactly that.
So pressure kick here for Jones. He's got it. Ooh. This is the big margin for either side for the night.
Alan Dino coming off for the Pies, but it's a transfer again. It was Gibson's contested mark in front of Pendlebury. That'll really annoy Mick because there's 3 defenders there, Harry O'Brien and Clark included. That's just super play, and to actually pull your kick to lower the eyes at full tilt is a real skill.
With someone on your hammer. But neither of those 3 Collingwood defenders committed themselves to the spoil, otherwise they would have affected it.
Corey Jones, 3 goals tonight, and North Melbourne 6 of the last 7 in this game. It's slipping away right now from Collingwood. 100 plays 78. Need the next goal. O'Brien battles with Simpson, taken by Power across to Petrie. Comes off the outside of the boot, scoos away towards the outside wing. Taken there though by Pratt, who centres the ball. Bryan gets back. Lockyer across the ground. Well done by Campbell. Arrived quickly. Thumped it away. Chance for McMahon. He got it from Simpson. Goes down towards the forward pocket. Maxwell. Well, he played on instinctively again. Here's a chance as Simpson gives it to Grant. Centering kick. Going back down there is Watt, was one of a couple of players. In front of him, Wakelin. Hale there as well, and the ball's gone across the line. It was Hale, not Watt. And it's a behind forced.
Maxwell took the mark over Shannon Grant. He looked like he was lame, and then the ball spilled out in front of him. He just found a little bit.
So, Nathan, I'll put the acid on you as a former Collingwood captain. Is there a move? Is there something they could do?
No, it's all over the ground. The Kangaroos are just more desperate. They're working harder to run and support, to create options for each other when they've got the ball in their hands, and it's an all-over thing, and it's going to start at clearances.
So McMahon got it from Power. It's a terrific kick from Power.
They're asleep, Collingwood. All those players were lining up in the corridor there and didn't get back far enough. Just not working hard enough.
The only time they've had the ball in their hands in the last 5 minutes or so has been backwards of centre. They really haven't had a chance to use the ball in a dangerous part of the field without North having numbers behind them, and that's because they're not winning the ball at contested situations.
He's not a big goal kicker, Rawlings, but he's given that a good ride to the goal square and through for behind. So Collingwood need a goal quickly here.
19-7 contested possessions this quarter, and clearances actually going to Collingwood, but you can see when the ball's up for grabs 50-50, more often than not, it's a North Melbourne player coming away with it.
So Thomas to Swan.
Swan drives it beyond the wing, almost in front to Reece Shaw, spinning out of trouble. Pendlebury seems to have more time than most players on the ground. Cloak goes down towards half forward Medhurst.
Need a spark from him.
Right on the 50. 102-78. Under 10 minutes now. Centering kick. Wellingham has to wait, and that's a good grab. Might have got the free. Matters not. Kept his eye on the footy. It was a vice-like grip.
Really good kick by Medhurst too. He got it on really quickly. That's always dangerous when a player's coming through, and if it travels quick through the air, very hard to defend.
He's done well there, Wellingham. The natural instinct when a player's coming back is to try and run into him and keep him out of the contest, but he realised that the ball was going to carry, read it well, took a nice mark.
A goal here pulls it back to 18 points. Wellingham, well, he's worked it a long way right to left, and he gets it through. Still ample time if they're good enough. His second goal.
First time Travis Cloak had been involved for a long time. You need him, you need Medhurst. And this is just Wellingham coming down the outer side of the ground. And you pick up who his exact opponent was, but I'm sure Dean Ladley won't be happy with it. Drew Petrie taking a break. And Big Goldstein coming on to take up the ruck work, but he's been dangerous too because he's kicked a couple of goals. They need this clearance. This is one of the most important clearances of the match for the Pies.
So on the bench, he came in for Leon Davis. Done well, Wellingham, a couple of goals. Both at that end of the ground, the Coventry end. That's applicable. Hands and knees, Rawlings. Jones just went without it. McMahon, clever, was able to snatch the footy back.
My ball.
It's the first tackle I've ever seen effected from behind your back.
Straight back.
They're used to close finishes. The Kangaroos, they've won a number of them this year. 4 by inside, 10 points. Jones's kick to the dangerous Harvey. Went without it. Clark was able to fend him off. Then Shaw. Now Harvey wanting it to be deliberate, but it was a long way away for Shaw.
They've been brilliant on Heath Shaw. They've given him no time and space. Harding's gone off, and McMahon has the job now. And the last two seemingly loose balls that Heath Shaw was going to go on to, he's been tackled.
Power on hands and knees. Maxwell with him.
As a defender, Heath Shaw would be feeling pretty aggrieved because every time he plays now, he's getting tagged.
Bryant's in front. Fisted back. O'Brien falling to the ground to Brown. Kicks it up towards the centre square. Bounces very high in the air. Urquhart lays it down into the path of Harding. Rawlings the quick hand pass. Ross ran into a dead end. Maxwell brought him down. Goldstein's got it jarred out of there. Powers under pressure. Gets a hand pass away. Harris falling to the ground. Back to Ross. A second chance. Too slow. I doubt he's played at this tempo before. This game on fire at the moment as the Magpies trying for one last gasp. Lockie's got the football just forward of half back.
Great call, Dennison. With that increase in intensity from the Pies, that is exactly what it is. This is their chance to get back in the match.
Goal sack to the attacking 50. Gibson launches himself, got a fist on it, kept in front Jones. Close to the boundary line, measures the kick, goes for distance. Brown lurking at the back at an unkind bounce. The unkindest cut of all. Cutting his way through them. Campbell is going goalward, draws a man, goes over the top. Grant open goal. And that might just about do it. Wow.
And that all started from Gibson. A wonderful punch away from Cloak, who let up. And yeah, he got a kind bounce, but he was on the move.
Once again, in that particular area of the field, 3 Collingwood defenders with a numbers advantage weren't able to clear the ball.
And this footy, you wouldn't believe it, Grant kicks it through. It's gone straight through the super box window. As 3 of them took hangers over each other.
Been brilliant, Campbell. The 2 ins tonight have got 5 between them, Grant and also Jones. I know Grant was on the end of that, but he's made a contribution. He's had a couple of other shots for goal as well. Hit the woodwork.
I think these running bounces tells a story. 29-14. Collingwood have just been, haven't been able to close down the Kangaroos' run and carry, which is one of their greatest strengths.
Free kick.
I wonder if Andrew Demetriou's he's left Eddie. I wonder if he's gone to sit next to James Brayshaw.
Done the old switcheroo.
So one last roll, you reckon, for Collingwood, don't you? I mean, they've just need to get the scoreboard going right now. Got to play with some flair and attack hard. Still believe they can make it, Anthony. Medhurst, well, the last time he got the ball here, they got a goal.
No, he hasn't got on the 50. Well,
now he's off. He can go all the way here. He's a long, thumping kick.
No. Oh.
He's done it.
Well, he's one brilliant player that can turn the game quite easily. But gee, they're going to have to get the ball inside 50 more often. Josh Gibson there, just a little bit of sleep on the mark. You would have realised that he was going around on his right. But a wonderful finish. He hasn't given up. Hasn't had a lot of it, Meadows, considering what he's been doing over the last month or two. 11 touches, but they're still in touch.
Well, he kicked 5 against North back in round 5. That gives him 44 goals for the season and makes him the leading small forward in the AFL. Rucks go at it, hooked down by Wood. O'Brien gets away with it. They come forward again, but he'll direct it. And Pratt, steadfast back there, takes the mark.
Mick won't be happy with that. You would want one of your forwards to come and man up that loose player to create a 2-on-1. And, yeah, that's an opportunity missed.
Wells got the ball from Urquhart.
He's got 3 players in the middle, Collingwood, without picking up a man.
Harvey, the star in the opening half, has drifted well and truly out of the game in the second half. Congrats there then to Clark, who's clawed his way back into that man-on-man contest inside the 50. Wakeland got a hand to it, fell at their feet, crawling after the ball. Hale, Wellingham, the look-away hand pass too slick for Pendlebury. Campbell taken down, will have a ball up.
Petrie's come back onto the ground for North Melbourne. There's Pendlebury, well, bit of class in those 5 players right there.
And Wells in his role behind the ball has been fantastic in this last half.
Ferrito, another one of the very good players for North Melbourne tonight.
They've just been superior in the air. Every time the ball's been up, they've just about plucked it from nowhere.
So he decides to load up with a torpedo punt, gets it to within 20 metres. Petrie worked underneath it by Wood.
Got to play on at all costs now, Collingwood. They've 3 goals down. It's 5.5 minutes. They've got to take risks and play on. And
no movement though by Collingwood.
And North structure's so solid, it'd be hard to get through.
It was a slow old kick. Hansen, and that one out on the full. So O'Brien to bring it back in.
So the enigma that is Collingwood continues. Beating the top sides, faltering in games you think they should win if they're a legitimate premiership contender. Burns has got the football. Beautiful pass coming out from Wellingham. Burns goes down towards half forward. Then a battle of strength and wills. Cloak knocked it forward. Stolen away though by Harding. Harding bounces one up towards the wing. Head down is Harvey. Umpire said he ducked his head. Well, I'm not sure how you go and find the football in that situation. If in fact you don't duck your head, it's holding the ball, and the free kick is going to Burns, who wastes no time. Goes back to Clark. Clark close to the boundary line. Cloak.
Collingwood still a chance here.
No Bronx cheers there by the Collingwood supporters.
It was.
Shaw has had very little space tonight. Gets it inside 50. Handsome, well done.
That's how you come back.
He's got McMahon running for him here now. He needs an accurate kick. Not great, but McMahon will get to it, I think. No, he doesn't. And that ball getting close to the line, but he's still got some time. Back to Wells, where he's responded. Ox, you asked the question at half-time, and well done, Hansen.
Geez, he's run hard to get that.
His last 2 efforts have been fantastic because he has butchered it a few times this evening. No, don't put it up. Just go down the line.
So Hansen goes down that line. Petrie a target. O'Brien belts it over the line.
Well, North Melbourne came in with 3 tall targets: Hale, Petrie and Goldstein, and they've each played a role and been important. And that's a big crowd for North. They'll be happy with that as well.
After the throw in, O'Brien across to Wood to O'Brien. Centering kick. Swan finds himself in the corridor, intent on luring a man in Harding. Then hand passes out wide to Reshaw, and Reshaw finds Anthony about 25 metres out from goal.
And that was good hard running there by John Anthony. He got run up the field by his opponent, Lachlan Hansen, just moments ago, but he was able to turn back and find some space. Just 6 kicks, but 3 goals, and an opportunity to keep Collingwood's faint chances alive, but time running out for the Pies.
He kicks this, they're still well and truly in it.
Staking a claim for the finals, if in fact they're to make the finals.
Nice
and again, Gun barrel straight.
Well, they're well and truly in this. Clearance here, and they've put it away, and then all of a sudden it gets game on again. Good play. I think that the Kangaroos were trying to push their numbers back. And the problem is, if you do push your numbers back, you don't get them back far enough. If you get over that line, all of a sudden you're exposed, and the Kangaroos found out very quickly that that's exactly what happened. They've got 3 loose plays back now, the Kangaroos.
Well, Anthony's got 4. Collingwood have got the last 2 goals here. They're in with a chance, for sure. So this clearance is so important. Petrie, Bryan, Simpson bravely. He's a bit stiff, Burn. Simpson got down low.
He also pushed himself forward.
But when you get in this position, everything needs to go your way, and that's why it's always better to be in the lead.
Pratt's been terrific. Probably second best man on the ground, I'd reckon, right now.
Who's your first?
Petrie. There's Farito in the heart of the centre square with a short one. There's Power. That's a slow kick. Picked off by O'Brien.
Throw. Good decision.
And here's the third best man on the ground, I reckon.
He's got it.
Well, that's just silly now.
Third umpire James, he was abused. He's not copping it.
I think he's the only full-time umpire too, Dan, so he knows that rule probably better than most.
What you reckon? He reads the...
He sits at home, that's all he does. Turns the telly off and switches on the rules book.
What constitutes abuse? I reckon everyone can tell you that.
Still getting abused.
Time back on. Thank you.
So any score, well, it's, I think, done and dusted anyway, but any score makes it impossible for the Magpies. Harvey directly in front, fitting after his start that he may finish it right here, and he does. It's all over. North Melbourne have again defied the odds.
That's why they're a great outfit. They never give in, and on the other side, Collingwood, just when you expect them to win, and we'll see it there, that's a clear throw. No arguing the point with it. It's black and white.
I think Burns was still upset about the in the back. He was arguing as much about that as anything else.
Yeah.
Not a fabulous match for Harvey.
Still a chance for the Brownlow.
That's a high score against for Collingwood. 114 points they've leaked this evening. Mick definitely won't be happy with that.
Oh,
massive fist, and then Farito over the top. Simpson. Back to Pratt. Geez, been good. And Harvey. Wonderful stuff. Harding on the end of this one. Goes back inboard. Harvey's half volley. Terrific.
He's playing with them now.
And then caresses the football to Wells. Goes back. Shannon Grant will get it now from Harvey. And then Grant's kick to the pocket. Hale. Well done. The back by Bryan. Thomas. Campbell. He's always thinking Campbell, and then Goldsack. So North Melbourne against the top 5 teams. Played 7. Won 4. Lost 2. Drawn 1. It's a heck of a record.
Well, they're dangerous, aren't they? If they make the 8, they're dangerous.
Look of satisfaction on the face of their coach right there too. An assistant for 3 seasons under Michael Malthouse. Burns kicks it up shy of the wing. Cloak dropped the mark. And once again, the numbers around the football, all North Melbourne. Harvey got it from Urquhart eventually. Gibson inside the centre square. Too short. Awkward one there for McMahon coming up on the lead. But the pressure still coming from North.
Oh. He might give another one away.
Kick.
He may give another one away.
Burns is on the mark and he's biting his tongue.
But you held it in. You have to try and dispose.
It was against O'Brien.
Might have a shot in.
Final siren. Gibson just going through the motions. What a wonderful victory by North Melbourne. 114-96. They trailed at quarter time and half time. They led by 10 points at three-quarter time. And gee, there were times in this game they got as far behind as 18 points. You thought that they couldn't do it. Collingwood seemed to be playing the better football, but somehow North have willed themselves time and again, as they've done in their recent history, back into the contest, and they win against another side above them on the table.
And some talk during the week about the rivalry between these two teams. I'll tell you one thing, North Melbourne have really hurt Collingwood this year in a big way. They've beaten them twice and could cost them a top 4 spot.
And so have Carlton. There's 4 losses to teams that, look, Kangaroos are a very good side. Carlton probably won't finish in the finals. The Kangaroos have beaten them twice this year on the cusp, and they needed that game just as much as Collingwood did, and they were able to do the job on the night.
Down to you, Ricky.
Thanks, Bruce. I'm here with the winner of the Jason McCartney medal for the best on ground. Thinking of his choice tonight, Drew Petrie, and with us, Chase McCartney to award the medal.
Congratulations, Drew. Well done, mate.
Thanks, Chase.
Super effort.
Thanks, mate.
Good, Drew. Must be great to pull out your best in such a big game.
Yeah, we don't get on the Friday night stage too much, which is pretty wrong since we started it back in the 90s, but the boys are pretty keen to perform tonight and didn't get to wear our striped Guernsey for a home game, so I hope that changes next year.
Was that talked about during the week? About wearing the away Guernsey?
Not talked about. There was a little bit of media hype for it, Rick, but we didn't focus too much on it.
And how important was that win tonight for the club?
Yeah, very important, mate. We haven't put consecutive wins together all year, so we've got 2 now. We've got to win 3 of 6, so we put ourselves right in the hunt.
And you're showing plenty of spirit, aren't you?
Yeah, the boys always do.
Good on you. Thanks, Drew. Well done.
Well, I'm not sure if he's got all his stats right, but
Editorialising.
he did. There were some issues that came out there, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, 2 of them, wasn't there? The jump up, also Friday night footy.
It's just seeped onto the field on the other side of the white line. I reckon if he hadn't have done as good a job on the field, he wouldn't be in a position to say things like that. But he's done what he's contracted to do and what he's been employed to do, and that's play very good football. And I think he was a deserving best on ground tonight.
And the bloke that was probably pressing him in the end, Harvey, and also this fellow, Daniel Pratt, who's with Ricky.
Well, Pratty, it's like a finals atmosphere out here. Oh, it's fantastic, mate. It's just great for the young blokes who have come to the side. There's only a few blokes who've only played a few games, so it's a great atmosphere for them.
There's a lot of great young kids coming through, isn't there, at the moment?
Oh, Benny Ross, Gav Urquhart, Lockie Hansen had a fantastic last quarter, taking a few contested marks, so it was really good.
Well, just on your own game, mate, you had an up and down game, got a whack in the head. You went off with an ankle, we thought you were gone, but you come back like He-Man.
Oh, I don't know about He-Man, but no, I got a couple of knocks, mate, but part and parcel, mate.
Well, well on play. Good on you, mate. Thanks, Brady.
He-Man, eh?
He-Man, I reckon he was battle cat out there tonight.
He called Liquor manpower at three-quarter time. I think he's obsessed.
There's a lot of the Archers about him too, isn't there? There's a lot of the Archers about a few of them.
Just knockabout. I really admire the North Melbourne culture and the way they go about it. They
were written off 3 weeks ago.
Underrated every week, every season, but they're well coached. They've got great structure. They've got great discipline, and they continue to get the best out of themselves. And that guy there is one of the major reasons he's been a part of the system as a player, and now he's the coach. They've got great spirit, the North Melbourne Footy Club, and all credit to them tonight. They were too good.
They've got an indefinable quality at times, haven't they? Well, tonight they brought all that with them and they upset the odds as they've done so often this year. Had some big wins at the Dome this year. Remember the Bulldogs? Anyway, it was 114-96. Big win for the Kangaroos. Body blow for the Magpies.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.